Last time, I left you with the corpse of a mole at your feet. Figuratively, of course, I hope. We fought our way through the hard parts of Tucson and Onett. We've grown as a team and mentally as a warrior. And now it's part for a lesser known, we'll call it a lesser cared about boss, the Boogie Tent. Now, if you're playing through the game for the first time with these videos, like I assume all of you are, then you're most likely confused about what tent you're supposed to be fighting, right? I mean, you're standing right outside of a cave, in the middle of a village, in the middle of the mountains, far away from Tucson, which is a town that has nothing even close to resembling a tent, except these. So where's this next boss, you say? Well, in short, it's far, far away. But since this is a boss series and not a playthrough, I'm going to turbocharge our way through the next few steps of the game to give some depth to our story. With that said, I'm going to need everyone to buckle in their seats, wherever you are, and hold on because we're going fast. After you leave the mole cave, heal up and head back towards Peaceful Rest Valley. As you remember, I hate it here. You'll also notice that the bridge has been repaired by the ex-cult member, so you don't have to travel as long on your way back to Tucson. Once back in town, head to the preschool, reunite Paula with her family, who was previously devastated by her disappearance. They will immediately let her leave again, this time on an adventure around the entire known world and through time itself. Ah, the 90s, when you didn't even need a permission slip to cross dimensions. Once the tears have dried, head to Bergman Park and chat with Everdread again. He'll give you 10 grand. Take that to the Runaway 5 manager. After seeing them perform, pay him, and he will release the Runaway 5 from their contract, and they will play one last show at the Chaos Theater before offering you a ride to the next town. The noise of their noisy band bus will drown out the warnings from the ghosts, and the entire crew now has access to Threed. Hooray! However, the celebration is cut short when a couple seconds into the town, the Runaway 5 decide that they'll drop off the characters and let them fend for themselves. No big deal, 10 grand just doesn't get you as far as it used to. From here, you explore the town. Check out the circus in the middle town, knock on all the doors of the scared residents, and when you're ready to move on with the plot, head to the upper left corner of the map. Traveling through the cemetery, aka ground zero of the most concentrated area of enemies in the game, finally you'll end up at 2 zombies that are blocking you from going any further. Talking to them will cue the plot point music, and you're free to return back to town. When you approach a hotel, you'll notice a unique-looking woman who seems to be drawing attention to herself. You follow her because she's literally a hooker in a kid's game, and it's then that you're bamboozled into being attacked and locked up by the zombies. Our 2 characters wake up in a prison cell below the cemetery with no way of escaping, and would have totally been doomed if it wasn't for Paula and her amazing ability to telepathically communicate with people miles and miles and miles away. So, Paula's call falls upon the nerdy inventor living up north in Winters, Jeff. He is stirred awake in the middle of the night and is overwhelmed by the need to travel south. With the help of his friend and eventual lover, Tony, Jeff gets all his equipment and is helped over the fence to freedom. His first stop is the general store, where he gets a piece of gum from a strange woman, and the gum attracts a monkey who is just standing at the door minding its own business. When Jeff gives the monkey a simple piece of gum, the monkey becomes a lifelong friend and temporarily joins Jeff's team. Side note, in the area between the boarding school and the lake to the south is the greatest place to grind some goats. They're quite intimidating on your first run-through because of their power, but each battle gives you 20 experience points. That adds up quick, so grind them goats. The 2 head south until they reach a large lake and presumably a dead end. But, with a little shut-eye and a wind advisory, our small monkey friend turns into a lake monster magnet, and before you know it, we're riding on the head of a Tessie across the lake. It's all normal. Please, just let it happen. On the other side of the lake, you meet my personally favorite character in the game, the Dungeon Man. His first dungeon is nothing to call home about, but he has a great attitude and he'll get better. Make sure you get all the packages and smartly fight all the bosses. It's a big hike back if you die. A bit further, you reach a cave that you just passed through for now. You'll come back when you have more firepower. Exiting the cave will lead you to parting with your monkey friend. He, like most of your friends in the past, has left you to seek the attention of a lady. It's okay, you'll end up just fine. I would suggest being bold and fighting at least one of the cavemen around Stonehenge Base. If you grind the goats earlier, you should have enough strength. And if you grab the bottle rocket in the last cave, you'll have a shoo-in during the battle. Also, do not use the big bottle rocket Jeff has had since we started playing with him. You'll use that shortly. Finishing the journey south and finally reuniting with your dad, he will almost immediately ship you even further away so that he doesn't have to worry about you anymore. I'm just kidding. You know, it's a dad thing. We love you, but we just don't know how to express it all the time. Whatever. So Jeff is on his way zipping through the sky in a repurposed spaceship, and he comes crashing down hard right on top of where Ness and Paula have been captured. They exchange greetings, and Jeff uses his broken key machine that he got from the boarding school, and the 3 team up and escape and head back to town. Now, if you haven't forgotten, you are watching a video about bosses. Just a friendly reminder. Did you remember? Okay, cool. It's now that we meet our new boss. Walking around the city, your first instinct is to head to the southern portion of town. It is there you see a second circus tent that's popped up. Intriguing. Once you get close, however, you realize that it is not a tent, but some sort of creature that has disguised itself as a tent, and you are pulled into battle with the Boogie Tent. Not much is known about the Boogie Tent, other than it's used to store Master Belch's favorite food, fly honey, and it appeared spontaneously in Threed. Its sprite is similar to the Squatter Demon, which we will see towards the end of the game, and the theorizing part of me feels like it's some sort of connection. Perhaps a Squatter Demon, like its name suggests, is an entity that takes the place of something else. In this case, a tent, and when we see it later in the game, that might be its raw form, the form that we fight when it reveals itself. I'm not sure. Maybe that's a video for a different time. In this battle, the Boogie Tent can use pale green light, which acts as a neutralizer, canceling the PSI effect on itself and all of the members of the party. It could also immobilize a party member by spitting fly honey at him or her, simply bash onto a party member for minor damage, use defense spray to boost its defense, and use PSI Flash Alpha. Boogie Tent is vulnerable to PK Fire and Brain Shock. But I'm going to level with you. If you have that big bottle rocket that Jeff came with, then use that to end the battle in one hit. The Boogie Tent has 579 hit points, and a big bottle rocket, which is a strength of 5 bottle rockets, just so you know, can do up to 750 damage. It can, in most cases, result in a one-hit kill. If you don't have the big bottle rocket, have Paul use Fire Alpha, and Jeff and Ness bash until it's dead. It won't be a problem. I haven't been grinding very much in this latest run-through, and it was no issue defeating it. After defeating it, the trash can containing fly honey is revealed, being the key item required to defeat Master Belch. He's coming up in a little bit. And there you go. It's the journey that was a hard part in this case. So it was nice to have a relaxed boss for a while after all that work. Next time, we will have to begin our journey to stopping Master Belch. But before, we run into his tunnel guard and next boss, Mini Barf. See you there. Alright guys, thanks for watching through the end of the video. Glad I can count on you to enjoy my videos. I sure enjoy making them. Click on the video on the right to get more bosses of Earthbound, and click on the left one to get another Earthbound related video. And as always, Fuzzy Pickles.